Yeah, hi, is this Mitch?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Gary Melton. How are you?
Gary who?
My name is Gary Melton.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Yeah, so I'm a former First Group guys. I saw your interview with Candace. And I just had a few questions for you.
You do? Okay, are we being recorded or anything? Are we being... Let me jump in my car here. Yeah, talk to Mr. Valhalla. He had some ideas. Well, and who are you again? Your Nate? Gary. Sorry, Nelson?
Just a second. Melton. M-E-L-T-O-N.
Okay.
Gary Melton.
All right. What kind of questions you got for me?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about... I'd like to know a little bit more about your history. You're kind of saying that you're, a former SF guy.
Yeah.
When did you go to the Q course?
Oh, back in 1991. I can get you the class date probably in a few.
Okay. Would it be possible for you to look? If your story checks out, I'm all about it, man. I don't want to, I'm not here to do you dirty or anything like that. But obviously we have a regiment, and we take that stuff very seriously. Would it be possible for you to send me your DD-214? Sure.
The only thing you haven't done is you haven't told me who you're with.
Oh, so I'm with. Well, basically, like Valhalla, I have a YouTube channel. Paramount Tactical. I know Nate. I just talked to Nate yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's a good guy, by the way. I'm a fan of his.
We're great. We're good friends, and
Okay.
I see. Yeah. So if you could send me your DD-214, and we can verify your story, and we can get to the bottom of. We all want the truth.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's actually what we're all trying to do. Did it just switch
How long were you at group?
How long were you at group? Sorry, the phone's switching to Bluetooth.
We're switching to Bluetooth here give it a minute for the fight for the Bluetooth here.
No worries.
Oh, there it goes. Good
job. How long was I in group?
Yes,
about from 93, what was it, March? I want to say February, March of 93 until November 15 November 1996.
You said, say it one more time for me.
February, March.
February, March
of 93.
93 until 15 November 96.
96. And what was your MOS?
18 Charlie.
18 Charlie. Now I know in some of the other documents and stuff, you said you were a medic as well.
I went through the 300 F1 course. Broke my back there down in Fort Sam, Houston. It was just something stupid, Sergeant Dagnon. You can probably look him up on SF Brothers or something. He's a good guy, but also I think every one of us are assholes. I was just one of the young guys that he convinced to go up to. I was known for going up to the Guadalupe River between Fort Sam and between San Antonio and Boston.
Yep.
Great place to go vacation, all that stuff. And in the summertime, they float down the river, and the girls show us all their tits and stuff. It's fun time. I was young, honey.
I know,
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm a guy, you like that part. So look, I was known for going up there, and we were running into a problem qualifying guys, getting them their jumps in for hazardous duty pay. He knew I was going up there, so I I took the route he told me, but we didn't, count on the fact that that winter there had been a, what do you call this thing? A sinkhole that developed there. And it ate away at the little cliff, and I ended up falling like 60 feet. I broke my everything. Broke all the tarsals of my feet, calcaneus, both calcaneuses, left kneecap, shredded in half. I had to squeeze that back on. Lower lumbar, first, second, and third lumbars. Later on, we found out that I also had broken my C5 and 6. Complete dislocation of left arm, torn labrum.
You're lucky. You're not only lucky that you are alive. You're lucky you can still even walk.
It was that's a God thing. There was a colonel. Hold on, I remember his name. He's a good guy. Starts with Firth. Colonel Firth. He was in charge of the 300 F1 course back then, and he wanted me to go right back into the course because they couldn't recycle people back then. We didn't have enough slots, and that was like the first time I ever stood up for myself, and I said, "Look, people, I'm broken head to toe. I need some time off." I told them I have to go home for a little bit, and I think I took 3 weeks. I went home and climbed mountains. I'm an idiot. But, they put me in a Jewett brace. I came back and I had to get recycled into the next class, but they wouldn't be able to get me in for like, a year or so. But I was right at the point of starting the internship, and then that's right before they sent me back to Bragg for Goat Lab. So I pretty much I did the internship at the Brooklyn Army Medical Center burn ward.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of that when all this happened.
So did you ever go to an ODA?
ODA 163166. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 163?
163. And 166.
So you were a first group?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So was that? Yeah, I was on 183, 185.
Oh, so you're an old dog too, because you got the old numbers. All right.
Yeah. They actually, when I got there, I got there. We actually switched to 1323, and so I was there. I got there in 2006.
Oh, you got there.
So
that's actually a little bit. Were they still doing? Because I thought they switched the numbers up. Didn't they do that around 2000 or so?
No. It was 2006, 2007 that they went to the new numeric system.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure out the numeric whatever system. Somebody tried to explain it to me before, and I don't know. Okay.
Well, it used to be obviously, first group, sixth company, third team, right? And now it's first. So it's first, like for 183 instead of being one first group, eighth company, third team. It is first group.
So forgive me, guess what? You've already lost me, sir.
Yeah, third battalion.
Okay.
Third battalion, second company, third team. So they just added the battalion in there is really what it is. So it's just simplifies a little bit.
I'm just gonna keep driving around for a little bit. We'll keep driving around while we got you on the card thing here.
Okay. Yeah. Bluetooth.
I'll get you documents. Not a problem.
Where do you want them sent to?
We got all the documents.
Where do you want them sent?
It's Gary at ParamountTactical.com.
Gary at Paramount.
I'll text it to you.
Okay, perfect.
I'll text
no offense, I'm going to go ahead and do my own lookup on you too, because I don't know, you sound suspect,
We got to watch our back too.
I'll be calling you Private Snuffy on my own YouTube channel here soon. if you do,
I'm popping popcorn.
Okay, sir, we're talking here, and I know why you're calling me and stuff. And I really have to laugh stuff up because I've been through some hella shit, and I've been trying to warn our boys for a long while. But You know, and I laugh and joke a lot because
That's how we get through.
it's just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, if you tell Nate, no, I've been a fan. I actually tried to get on his show. I paid money to try and give him the tip.
Super chats, yeah.
That I had. I wanted him to vet me. Okay, you tell him that. I wanted to go through him. Period. Because you know we both know.
Well, I'm sure I'll talk to Nate even today, but you know, you're definitely. I think he has an invite for you to come on his show, and you definitely have an invite to come on my show. So.
Wow. I'm getting invited. Hold on, honey.
We'd love to feature you. And
Thank you.
Look, if your story is true, you know, just doing due diligence.
Oh yeah, there's people out there. I've only got like half the nation in TPUSA now trying to search me down and kill me and dig up all my dirty records and dirty laundry. Yeah, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no. I only know. I never meant for things to blow up like this.
No.
It was just a tip that I was just trying to get.
To candid, like.
Things just weighed on my heart.
We tried to get to Valhalla, and then we were talking to a friend. I mean, you heard the story.
We had a friend here. She's a cute little girl. Yeah. She has her own great story.
She's like a go-getter. She's like
and she heard what I had to say, and I just mentioned to her. And I was like, "Yeah, we were trying to go through Valhalla and stuff, and you know, we got blown off. Whatever. It's really hard to get through to these people because
everybody's busy.
Yeah, everybody's got an ego.
And everybody's inundated.
Well, and just like you know,
the volume.
Hey, how do you get through 4 million?
The volume.
Yeah,
exactly.
The volume of 4 million stories. How do you get through that?
I mean, you can't. It's like luck. Yeah, it's just
no problem. Yeah. We've had the same problem at the FBI.
Yeah.
That being said, we mentioned it to her, and she's just all like, I've got to warn Candace. I'm going to message her right now on Instagram and write her an email.
And Mitch and I looked at each other like,
we looked at each other like, yeah, sure, okay, that's precious, Marcy. Okay,
go for it.
You do that. And before we got off the call, Candace Owens is calling me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the actual? You got me kidding me. But no, I tried to tell Candace, you don't want my story. It's been a crazy long saga as to why I was at Fort Huachuca. And she kept pulling that thread. She wanted to vet, so I've gone through this with her. Went through this with who was it? Joe Kent. Yeah. Great guy, by the way. He's very busy. And I've sent him all the records, all that kind of stuff. I'll send them to you. Can you do me one favor? Just the guys around here, there's some vets around here. I've had a real problem with them. I give them records. Next thing you know, things get propagated. People copy stuff off. That's been one of the problems I've had around here with vets. I'm not a real, I should say, not a real fan of a lot of vets around here.
Right. I mean, we don't trust people with documents.
Well, here's what I'll tell you, man. Listen, I think there's nothing more important than integrity. And if you send me any records, number one, I will. Look, I have a good reputation in the SF community and online and everywhere else. What I'm not going to do is, I'm not going to send your record to anybody.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I'll say that. I will confirm or deny your records verbally. I'm not here to smear you. I'm not here to, mess with you or anything like that. I want to know if the story is true. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And I'm going to send you my personal contact information right now. And if you need anything from me beyond this, and like I said, I'd love to have you on the show. Let's get to the truth.
Yeah,
simple as
that sounds great.
And I haven't had a lot of luck. As a matter of fact, those guys in SF Brothers, I helped start that. I'm one of the people that helped at the beginnings of SF Brothers and Facebook and stuff. I'm one of the first 100 that got onto there. And to put that together for guys, because, you probably remember since you were there earlier, if you got out prior to like 2006, you went out into a black abyss. You got cut off. I mean, it was hard enough to keep track of guys that you knew that were on the teams right across the hall from you, because everybody's on such a tempo. but then all of a sudden you're outside of group. People move, people change orders, people within a year, you're sort of cut off. And so we
lose contact with everybody.
So the whole Facebook thing actually ended up being a good, place for everybody to sort of meet up
platform,
after. Yeah. And that's where, what was his name? He died a few years ago, the guy who started it. Really good guy. I still got him on the friends list somewhere. I don't remember it. But Thomas Drinkard, some of the old guys there, we put it together. They wanted me to be the admin at first, and I said, no, heck no. Because prior to that, I had worked for Microsoft, and I gave him hints and whatnot, and I was real glad when Bill Olson stepped up and take it over. But he turned out to, when things went bad for me like 2 years ago, I can tell you, those guys did not.
What happened 2 years ago? Was that with your custody battle and everything going on with your son?
I have been trying to get divorced for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. They finally let me.
I've been there.
You went through a 10-year divorce?
Not 10 years, but I went through a really bad divorce, put it that way. It wasn't 10 years, but kids were involved, and I was on deployments, and she was trying to keep the kids from me, so I can, at least to some degree.
I'm one of the guys, it's been because of my unique history, and because I did get targeted by something else that had been intentionally using this, I don't know, flaw inside of our judicial system. They just took advantage of it, and I've had a lot of people coerced in my life while I've been going through it. My wife was one, and after a lot of events in 2013, she finally, here I was, a broken guy. I couldn't defend her. They could do whatever they wanted, and she was deciding to go ahead and flip sides. So I decided, for my safety, my son's safety, we had to divorce, and it was supposed to be reasonable, but it became real unreasonable, and
real quick
allegations started flying. Because I'm special forces, I must have combat PTSD, therefore I'm a wife-beating, alcoholic, drug addict, serial murderer, serial rapist, pretty much every piece of spaghetti that can be thrown up on the wall, it's been accused of me. And I've been fighting through that, trying to hold on to custody of my, I helped raise my son. I was a stay-at-home dad. But no, they've done everything they can to criminalize me. And I noticed long ago that this was a pattern, not just with me, but
across the board.
Across the board with SF guys. And it pissed me off.
And that they use the SF status too.
It drove some guys to suicide. It drove others to, you really got to wonder if it was suicide.
Right.
I've been trying to raise this issue with several of our brothers, and it just typically goes nowhere. Nobody wants, do you know who Landon Valentine is?
No, I don't actually. Landon Valentine, who is he?
He was I want to say he was an officer in SF, but he was in, I think, 5th Group, more East Coast, but yeah, he was in the room. That poor guy they just murderized him in court and it was all based upon our SF status, that's what they do. You're special forces? You must be all these other things. I'm not a gun nut. I mean, I don't mind guns. I know how to use them. Probably don't want to be on the other end when I do. But yeah, I'm not a big gun nut. I like fishing. I'd like to take my boy fishing.
We like Florida.
Yeah, Florida was nice.
Florida was nice.
But, yeah, 2 years ago, my son came forward to report that he was being abused. And that didn't match the narrative of what they were trying to put down on me. He wasn't being abused by me. He was reporting being abused by mom, and she was doing it intentionally. We found the medical record. She was trying to set me up for a charge of child abuse. And she was getting help from the courts, from a judge over here, a couple of them. And when my son came forward to report her, well, they snapped back and retaliated. And eventually they threw me in jail under allegation. I can't help but laugh this allegation.
Absurdity.
Yeah, the allegation that I was either the leader or hiring party of a unidentified biker gang to stage a mass kill event at the courthouse to kill judges.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? That's serious. I can show you the criminal record. It's horrible. It looks terrible. Yeah, the only problem with that is there was no evidence. There's no
probable cause.
Just like saying, I'm not a gun nut. Probably not typical SF guy either. But yeah, I don't have a Harley. I don't ride motorcycles. I don't know anybody. I don't think I've ever spoken to anybody in a motorcycle gang ever.
Yeah, I think that, the whole Harley thing was big in the, even I think that was kind of the end of there was a big push in the SF community with almost like these biker gang type things going on within teams in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of faded out to my generation as well. But and there was guys that were getting strung up, and he's, I don't know, I guess they thought they were the Sons of Liberty and SF guys, and that's never a booze, bikes,
no kidding.
SF guys.
Nobody's ever presented to me that way, but now I sort of get that now. I could sort of see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. No, if you ever met me, I walk around in Tommy Bahamas and I've got a blue and gold macaw on my shoulder.
Yep.
I walk around like I'm in Florida all the time, wearing hey dude, red, white, and blue hey dudes. I'm pretty sure I'd get my ass kicked if I ever walked into a biker gang. So no, I get the allegation. For anybody who doesn't really know or doesn't consider people being individuals.
Sure. They're just playing on stereotypes.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is all escalated. So they threw me in jail for 92 days knowing I was innocent. They didn't have any, there's no evidence. There's no, it was totally cooperative. There's no phone calls, there's no text, there's no pictures, there's no history. I don't have a motorcycle. It was just retaliatory stuff, and they had a couple of honeydew girls involved with it that they had come get involved with it. Those two girls ended up oh good God, they got into my records. They contacted SFB. They were on call with Bill Olson. Bill Olson was helping them to try and implicate me to breaking orders and all this other stuff, and I finally gave him the big FU inside the room. Why are you cooperating with two women that aren't SF? Why are you giving them information about me from anything, from within our supposed, secret group team room? That was a real violation to me, and I called them out in public for it, out there on the page. And in retaliation, the admins decided to kick me out. Yeah, screw them. Gotta love our buddies sometimes, But yeah, there was nothing to any of the charges. They were all dropped. That didn't stop them from telling my son that I committed suicide in jail and I'm dead, and therefore they put him on a protective order. They haven't let me see my son since. And they're not going to let me see him until I plead guilty to the allegations.
Yeah.
How long has that been, Mitch?
2.5 years.
Since you seen your kid?
2.5.
Wow.
2.5 years.
Wow. How old is your son? How old is your son?
He's 13.
13.
13? Wow. Yeah, that's...
I'll give you all the records you
unbelievable.
reported. Yeah, I know it's unbelievable. It's a crazy story, isn't it? I know. I'm aware. I try to tell.
No, I mean, I you know, knowing how women are and knowing how, no offense, Amy.
No, those kind of women are absolutely, they give women a bad name. Like, that's what makes me so mad. I'm like, how can you do this to another person? I mean, I went through a divorce and I was like the complete opposite. I was like,
well, just
I
the
don't
way
understand.
they weaponize, the way they weaponize kids against you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so wrong. Yeah.
And then how the justice system is set up in the against the father or the man involved is just again I went through a very, not quite to that extent, but to where I was getting divorced, and then I was actually in the Q course when I was getting divorced, and then kind of the same thing. It was like they were calling my command saying I wasn't paying child support every day. I'd have to go in like once a week and show them documents. Look, I've paid every single. Matter of fact, I was paying more than was requested of me.
Wow.
Shocker.
And then on top of that,
let me get my shot.
And then
don't know anybody like that.
And then on top of that, when the divorce finalized, the courts, the judge said, "Hey, look, because he's in the military, and at the time I was deploying constantly to Iraq and Afghanistan. It's like, hey, we're not going to set up child visitation on a schedule. It's like when he has leave, you're going to give him the kids." And so when I would get back from deployment, and they lived in Texas at the time, so I'd fly to Texas to go to get, and then what she would do is she would hide the kids from me the entire time I was on leave, and I couldn't find the kids. She'd move them off to she'd move them around and I was traveling, trying to go to her family's houses everywhere I knew. She'd shuttle them around.
Right, and then you trying to do that, let me guess, if you did
she called the cops on me.
Yep.
Call the cops on you, say that you're stalking her and all this.
Even though that was the court order for you to see him on your leave.
Yeah, like it's a whole scheme.
See, it's
shocker. Hold on, let me get my shock face.
No.
I haven't played that game at all. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, your story is very similar to a guy. I want to say he was Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel. Oh man, the name is just. I'm gonna have to go up to my computer. Wait, you mind staying?
I'm bad with names too.
How long do you want to stay on the phone here?
I got time.
We're just gonna pull in the garage real quick.
And I just sent you my contact information.
Okay.
Via text with email on there and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. We'll just stay in contact here. I'm just You caught us getting coffee and breakfast. I'm also trying to avoid the fire. Gotta love all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that just, for better or for worse, it comes with the territory.
It does, yeah.
I've spent a lot of my last 25 years hiding in plain sight. Okay, so all right, explain that to me again, because you're touching on something. How do you know this? This frustrates me. It takes me getting to this level to finally get somebody who gets it. The government doesn't.
The government doesn't want to know that there are guys that were trained with U.S. tax dollars working for cartels. That is a shit optic story. That's why that's not going to be published in the freaking New York Times. You know what I mean?
Exactly correct, yeah. And it's also not a...
it's not a pretty story.
It's not a pretty story.
No.
It's not one you take to the FBI and the FBI goes, oh my gosh, let's check it out. No, they say, oh, give us the names and everything else like you're doing to me right now. And then the next time they come into the room, they're acting like they're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how dare you even mention this? Yeah, no, I've been through it. Might have been, yeah, a couple of times. My shit optics store. Yeah, shit optics. That's a good one. It's a good way to depict it.
No, that's. I mean, we see that time and time again. There's a lot of, there's look when it comes to. I really believe. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the assassination attempt on President Trump, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what? When did that happen?
Assassination.
Seriously? They tried to. Is that today? Oh my God.
It's July 13th.
Fuck with you, brother. Yeah. No. Yeah. Of course. No. Yeah. No.
So we have Thomas Crooks that has allegedly zero digital footprint, or very minimal digital footprint. So we have this.
Is it possible? Sure. Plausible? Absolutely not. Yeah.
And what I believe is that he was targeted, profiled, and recruited, radicalized, and weaponized online. And I think they know that. And I think there's a couple of different options there.
You're starting to get into that tinfoil hat MK Ultra thing that they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm 100% tinfoil hat on the MK Ultra, and I think so it's not like MK Ultra stopped. They didn't stop trying to control people's minds in 1968, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
We've since perfected it, and I have a lot of good evidence with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that we don't know, the reason that the government hasn't shared that information with us is a couple of possible reasons. Number one, it was deep state ran to begin with, and these people didn't like President Trump, so elements within our own intelligence community targeted him. Through in the use of cover, they're not going to say, "Oh, hey, we're Project X wing out of the CIA." They're using so either our own people did it, and or political actors did it, and or foreign adversaries did it. I think all of those are possible. All of those are possible. Even if they knew that for a fact, they're not going to share that information, because they don't want the public to know how easy this is. So it doesn't benefit the government to even let them know that is possible. And I think we can trace
how
that
do you
back to,
why do you want to make your victims aware? I got it.
Yeah. Well, let's just say they're on the up and up. Let's say the FBI and other intelligence agencies are like, oh my God, this was done by a foreign actor or whatever else. It still doesn't. It's kind of like the UAP program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like speaking of tinfoil hats, I'm very into the UAP program. I know it's real, but there are people that have decided that it doesn't benefit the
UAP. Is that the that's drones, right?
UFOs.
Oh,
UFOs.
UAPs.
UFOs.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't benefit the U.S. citizenry to know about it.
Right.
So there's no upside for them to know about it, so they're not going to give any information on it. And I think it's the same thing. And I think when we look at some of these other school shootings where they've kind of swept this stuff under the rug. When we look at Stephen Paddock from Las Vegas, I think these were test runs. I think these were people being targeted and being radicalized and weaponized online.
Can I add one of those names to your list
Sure.
that you really should look into? Yeah, you should have already picked up on it. Travis Decker.
Oh, yeah.
There should be a whole thing about who killed Travis Decker. That's right up here in Wenatchee. And if you're up here in Washington, I don't know if you're in the north. Where are you?
I'm actually in West Virginia now.
Oh, lucky you.
This is my phone number from when I was still at, I actually still had a house in Yome until, I don't know, about 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, West Virginia, that's pretty territory up there. Guys all They tease you about the banjo playing.
You know, so here's the truth of it. West Virginia was the only state of the union I ever declared I would never live in.
Oh,
and in 2008 or so, we were down at Moyock, North Carolina, at Blackwater, doing a pre-deployment train-up, and my team sergeant's brother came to visit. I was like, oh, hey, you know, where's he coming from?
right.
He's like, he's coming from West Virginia. I was like, West Virginia? I would never fucking live in West Virginia. And then like 3 years later, I'm living in West Virginia. That's how that's the game Scouts plays with you.
God's a funny guy, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Well, you seem like a decent
you know,
guy.
going back to like, you know, this is another one of those third rail stories that even if the U.S. government knows about it, it doesn't benefit.
My whole life is third rail story. Pretty much. I think that's going to be the book. Thank you. I think that's going to be the book name. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. No, I'd love to have you on. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. It puts my mind at ease. Yeah.
Every time I hear Special Forces get online, the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking up truth fire digits, asking people, we know this guy, is he one of us? Yeah, I've done the whole Stolen Valley thing, Guardians of the Green Beret, I've given them people. Yep. I totally get it. I also, if you're going to talk to Nate, tell him, no harm, no foul. I mean, my missus, on the other hand, she's a little bit pissed at the guy. You know, I wouldn't have him turn his back on her just yet, but she'll get over it in time.
Nate's again, you know how our people are. We're all going to be extremely skeptical until we're not, and you know, quite frankly, that's a reasonable approach. We know the last thing that we want is people within our own regiment or people with outside of our regiment. You know?
And I'll tell you, within the regiment, oh, I'm a third rail, because I am a third rail. I'll tell you what, there's guys there. How you say it? Inconvenient truth bearer. I've just always been that way. I'm not gonna lie for anybody.
Sure.
And that, unfortunately, there's a lot of guys, especially in the military, who are yes men. Yeah, I don't get it.
That.
Yeah, I ain't good with them.
I've always been a bit of a contrarian myself, so I can relate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've done the whole flagpole, compete for Soldier of the Quarter and stuff like that. You know, all the shiny boots and whatnot. But I wasn't in it for the Scooby Snacks. I wasn't there to pin stuff up. I was there because I wanted an actual mission. And that's one of the things I got disappointed with most. Like, if there was something I got disappointed with more than anything, it was the importance of politics within group. It was the start of the PC era, you know. I wasn't well and done with some of those. I had some problems. I had to call a guy out for being I don't want to offend you if you're gay or not, but back then you weren't supposed to be gay and be in the service. But if if that's your thing, you know, it doesn't sound like it, but you know, it's 2025. You never know.
I got an ex-wife, a wife, and 4 kids.
Oh, half the gay guys in San Francisco have kids. That ain't no explanation.
That's true. That's fair enough.
Jesus.
Fair enough.
But no, I had to call a guy out. He was stalking me and others, and he was part of our class. His name was Jimmy Walker. You can go look him up. And back then, I got in trouble for wanting to just. I didn't want to be on the same team as him. Didn't want to be in the same group. Everybody kept asking me. Finally, they pressed it out of me. I had to tell the team. God, what was his name? Bruce Ring, big tough guy back then. Great team sergeant. Until this issue came up, and then, well, you know, some guys are tough in front of bullets and you know, jumping out of planes and stuff, and then they get in front of political issues like this, and they're not, how do you say?
No, you're right.
They melt like little pansies, man. And you know, if you are actually SF, and you know, we'll check you out. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know that the guys, the team room atmosphere, I used to describe it as they were worse than a group of old hens, a group of old ladies gossiping in church.
Yeah. No,
Son of a bitch, man. These guys. So.
When, politics.
Oh yeah. Well, this Jimmy Walker guy, his dad apparently was an SF general or something, and was part of the Clinton administration. And yeah, you know, I had to call him out. I didn't want to. It was the whole "don't ask, don't tell," but you know, he made it pretty apparent. So rather than kill the guy and get in trouble for it, I tried to do the right thing and just asked to, you know, change me to a different group. I'd like to, you know, before this blows up into the next, you know, gay beret incident or something, I'd like to go work somewhere else. And, no, they blew it up like crazy. It went all the way to the frickin' administration and back. And they took his side and they tried to claim, oh, he wasn't gay. Lying sons of bitches. Man, you fast forwarded to 2000, Jimmy Walker is in the gay parade in Seattle wearing his beret on the front frickin' paper, okay? And now he's writing books and going to colleges talking about how you guys all at First Group gave him PTSD and treated him so badly for being gay and what? You know, I can't win for losing. This guy's making money off of this stupid shit. But yeah. Yeah, Third Rail. Yeah, I might just adopt that name. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, man. Now listen, it was really great talking to you. Like I said, what I will be is I will be your biggest advocate, and you know, if
yeah, only if I check out. You vet the shit out of me. I dare you to.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You know, you check out. I'll be your biggest advocate, and either way, I'd love to have you on. I'll tell Nate I talked to you, and
yeah, you can tell him I called him a big faggot with those jazz hands he's swinging around all the time.
He does like this. He does like to.
You tell him I know that his sergeant major was Richard Simmons, just by looking and about how he talks about big guys all the time, you know. And he's dissing on short guys, yeah. And then he's hanging around with his prison sex partners, J.D. DeLay. Yeah, all right. A little bit suspect. And it makes more sense that he's from First Group. You tell him I said that. Behind channels.
I will.
All right?
I will.
All right. No, it's really been good talking to you. Thank you for reaching out, honestly.
Yeah, man. No, that's what I thought was the right thing to do, to reach out to you directly and not, you know.
Yeah, I can go ahead and name drop a bunch of people. Me and Nate Chapman, for instance, we were good buddies. We graduated Robin Sage together. We went through the, what do you call it, the commemoration dinner, you know, the SF dinner and stuff together. But First Group, the wonderful people that they are, didn't even send a rep for us. So it was me, Nate, and Tom West, who sat there drinking the champagne. So because there was only three of us, we had a whole bunch of extra champagne that all the other guys wanted. So it started a little bit of a war during the dinner. But yeah, no, I can name drop all day long. I know the people, places, things.
Awesome. Well, like I said, you know, if you will, just send me your DD-214. I'll check that out. You know, I'll like I said, man, I'm here to be your biggest advocate.
Do you want my social security number on there? Can I trust you with that, or are you going to redact it?
I'm not. I'm not going to show even your DD-214. You can. I think probably I have your social on this thing. Again,
you found my social on there? I mean, they got my social on that thing. Well, I probably have lied in the past, which made a big difference now. About this shit? No. The secretary got written down. You already documented, dude.
1323.
1323.
1325.
So you were in during all the business. You signed up afterward?
So
After 9/11?
9/11 happened. 9/11 happened. A couple of days I was in the recruiting station. I was with the 101st with the initial push into Iraq. I was a sniper team leader during that time. I came back.
Oh, did you know Tung Nguyen?
Tung Nguyen.
Mm-hmm.
No, that name doesn't sound familiar with. But dude, I'm fucking terrible with names. My brain.
Oh, you would know this guy. This guy was he was like autistic Vietnamese dude. He had an incredible history. He died. Friendly fire is what it sounds like. Friendly mortar fire. Bad, just a bad incident. The guy was, when it came to guns, the guy was a nutcase. I can tell you a whole story about it. But no, Tung Nguyen was a good friend of mine. He was sniper team also during that time. Just up, I think it was 2002, 2004. That was a real loss too.
Yeah, I was with the 187 Infantry at the time, and then when I came back from the initial deployment to Iraq, went to selection and went SF and was in the Q course from 2005 to 2006, and then went to first group, and then went on 3 more combat deployments and multiple training tours, Philippines, Asia, all the good things. And then
I don't know how the strip clubs were. I could tell you a whole thing about the first Gulf War, and training there, and they were asking for people to go and come back. And if you were at Fort Bragg while they were deployed, they always said that there were no women available at Fort Bragg before I went, because it's like 8 guys to every woman there.
something like that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of competition, and Rick's, I think it was Rick's, right? The strip club there. It was like a strip club right there on the main drag or something. I think it was Rick's. Anyway, they had every place at Fayetteville was a strip club. Like even you go out to breakfast and it was topless. Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't go out to breakfast with your family without, it being a topless joint. So, what an incredible time that was before 9/11, way back when. But yeah.
I still got while I was there, and at the time, I started dating a woman that's now my wife. But yeah, I still have a condo off of Riley Road that was had as a rental property.
Oh wow, that's fun, Riley Road. Yeah.
I don't know when the last time you've been back to Bragg, but man, that place has changed.
It's been a while. I've heard it's become a city.
Oh, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, and so is Fort Lewis. I tried to navigate there, and I couldn't even find Madigan anymore.
Yeah.
But
my son was actually born in Madigan.
Oh really? Yeah, my daughter was too. Yeah, the point being, there were guys that hadn't come back from the 82nd. The main body hadn't come back yet. And if you went out to the bars then, at that time, it was packed with women. When I say packed, I mean like sardine can packed. And if you were a guy that was in pretty good shape there, you had girls coming up to you buying you drinks and saying, "Hey, can I take you home?" Now, as a young guy, again, I'm young, I'm an idiot, okay? I'm thinking, wow, I don't know what they were talking about. There's a lot of women around this place. Boy, and they seem to be pretty well off and not too needy. They got their own homes and cars and everything. Huh. That's pretty interesting. But I was literally in a bar when and had a disco light, a little band playing on the race stand there. It was packed, and all of a sudden they stopped the music. This is not a drill. 82nd Airborne, confirmed, touchdown on the tarmac. Ladies and gentlemen, especially you ladies, if you've got people you're expecting to come home, they're on the ground right now. the whoosh that left that place. It was me and I want to say Bernie McGordy were left standing there, and it was just the two of us sitting on the dance floor. There was probably 50 people there before. There's little chewing gum wrappers spinning around on the floor, and oh yeah, it just became empty. And then from then on, you know, they were empty from then on too. You know, of course, that started the whole epidemic of guys coming home to shoot. You know, we had one guy at training group there. He came. I want to say it wasn't Rambo. Oh God, was it Rambo or something like that? He came home literally to find his team captain going at it with his wife inside of his bedroom. And he went ahead and ventilated that guy's asshole a little bit with a little bit of gunfire as he jumped out the window. I don't think he got in trouble for it though. I think the captain got kicked out. I think he had to do a little bit of time in the mental ward and got a divorce. That was back when they treated us decent, I guess. But yeah, SF, what do you do?
What do you do? Well, listen, Mitch, man, that was a real pleasure to talk to you. Like I said,
Yeah, another story we can't tell online, otherwise you're going to get yourself canceled. Sorry. I know. You get yourself on, what do they call it, demonetized?
Yeah, I changed the word.
Gary, no, it's been good talking to you too. Thank you for reaching out. You tell Nate.
Look at those documents.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a little bit of a razzing, but no, I would be proud to speak with them or anybody else. We got to let Candace do her thing though first. There's important stuff coming out, and you do understand the implications, right?
Oh, I understand the implications. It's quite big.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know what else to say. It was just it was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Or right place, right time.
And how you look at it.
And you know, you and I, we can look around the room and know which veterans have a little bit different sheen, even if they're in civilian clothing. These people stuck out, you know. That woman had my ex-wife's eyes, you know. They're really creepy. So I didn't mean for this. I meant for this just be a tip. Hey, you might want to check it out and see
Look into this.
where these people were the day before, because I think they were there. And I had no idea Miss Candace Owens was going to go ahead and blurt out my whole life story that I tried to get to her in about the same amount of times as I've been talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, so far there's no it's been real quiet, so we're happy for that, I guess. Yeah, hasn't got me a cup of coffee yet.
They're watching it today.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, man, you're right. What matters is the truth, and if
I could be mistaken.
Everything that we think is true with this, like, it has to get out, and that's what it comes down to, and that's what I've been in for this to begin with. I want to know what really happened. And, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, man. It's like the American people.
You start finding that I'm not credible, it's because you ain't asked for the documentation.
questions.
I'll back it up. And if I could have been wearing a camera on my eyes at that point, I would love to. I need to invest in that kind of stuff. Where's Elon Musk when you need him? Anyway.
I need to get you some meta glasses.
Seriously, I've already got a pair, but they only work with freaking Facebook, and I hate that shit.
Yeah.
So,
They're kind of weird.
Gary, get out of here, man. Thank you so much.
Mitch, I really appreciate
Look
you.
at that stuff sent to you, Gary.
Appreciate you spending the time with me, and like I said, I'll be your biggest advocate. 100%.
I'll shoot you off documents. How many documents you want? What do you want?
Your DD-214. If you want to throw anything else in there, you're welcome to, and for additional bona fides.
Sure.
Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not going to dox you no matter what. If I'm like, hey, this guy's a complete liar, I'm not going to put your information out there. I'm not.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I mean, I've already had my stuff, like, it's been, my house been ransacked, my stuff been stolen, and the one thing that they were after is the one folder I have. The only reason they didn't
It's
take that is
inconspicuous.
because it looks inconspicuous. It looks
Yeah.
like a I keep
looks
calling
like
my
a-
I Love Me book in
Yeah.
a very not very loving looking book.
I don't even want to change it for you because I don't want, like, because we know.
Yeah, but I got the microfiches and
Yeah.
everything. We just don't have anybody that has microfiche anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, like I said, man, all I want to do is confirm or deny the truth, and
Mhm.
that's it.
Okay.
And I'm not.
No, I think you'll find them pretty damn credible.
Yeah.
And if there's something in between you guys want to question, all right, you go ahead and question.
Yeah.
I can't help what I saw.
All right.
Yep.
I appreciate you being so forthcoming, and yeah, man, no, it was great talking to you. It really was.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
No, it was
you,
good
Gary.
talking to you, Gary. All right, you have a good
All
one.
right, Mitch. You too, buddy.
All right. Bye. Hey there.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey.
Hey, I was I'm on the phone call when you were texting me, but I figured I'd just call you and talk as opposed to texting over Signal or anything else. But yeah, I have definitely been, an outspoken critic of Candace. And not even so much Candace. Where that really started was when this whole thing with Charlie happened, we were flooded with, everything from the palm gun to camera gun to, I don't know how much you've kept up with that. Have you seen all that stuff?
Yeah, some of that stuff. I think the latest theory is something about what's that guy called? Baron Coleman?
Yeah, Baron Coleman.
Yeah, something about the fragments and I don't know. I don't have any opinion on that stuff really. I mean I could. What was your MOS, by the way?
18 Bravo.
Oh, you're a Bravo guy. You went easy route.
Yeah.
What happened? You seem more intelligent than that, man.
I just like guns, dude.
You just like guns, really. You're the gun guy? Okay. All right. No, Tung Nguyen, he was a gun guy too. That guy was a nutcase with those things. His barracks room, the guy was actually, he was shooting inside the team rooms to test out his silencers.
Suppressive, yeah.
Yeah. He was doing it inside. He'd sneak around and he'd pull me in. Hey, check this out. And pull me inside and I could smell the gunpowder. I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? Toop, toop, toop. He's hitting sandbags on the wall as his team was out doing something. I don't know. Anyway.
So, and again, just to be completely transparent with you.
Yeah, I can see you're coming at it. I'm looking you up now. So I see where you're coming from.
Here's my whole stance on this. This is I just want you to know this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when Charlie Kirk was first killed, number one, I was a huge fan of Charlie Kirk. All this, I've had a podcast talking about conservative politics for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie Kirk was killed, and then suddenly we're flooded with all of this craziness. The palm guns. We didn't even have a quote unquote official narrative at the time. You know what I mean? This is before charging documents came out. All the things that we have now.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that I did originally was like, okay, look, guys, this wasn't a palm gun, and here's why. This wasn't a camera gun, and here's why. There wasn't an iPhone gun. It wasn't drones flying around shooting people. And immediately, I was these were clearly bot attacks, by the way. So these people were saying, this is before that. Again, there was no FBI narrative at the time. This is like the 1 week into this.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Suddenly it's like you're a Zionist. You're a Zionist. You're paid by Israel. You're a Fed. All of this fucking craziness. And then people started coming out with these other.
Well, I think actually, if you step back there was a little something that went on there just before that too. I think it was not Tucker Carlson, Lindsey Graham, and that other television host, I forget his name, where they did this very non-organic force thing where they were holding up signs and saying Tucker Carlson isn't MAGA. I don't know if you remember that, but that about the same time frame. I remember seeing that stuff. I understand this. You're getting at the fracturing of stuff, and I understand. Go ahead.
And my point is one is the truth, and here's what I see as an underlying thing that's going on, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, is Candace has bad blood with TPUSA. I think that's a fair assessment.
I guess about the understatement of the century, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. And when she jumps in here and starts saying, "Oh, because Mikey McCoy and some of these other people," she like Candace immediately wrote off the idea that there was Tyler Robinson was the shooter. All the other things. She was jumping from narrative to narrative to narrative. And all of those came back to three things that Candace always disliked, and that was TPUSA, it was Israel, it was the French. Again, I don't know how much you read up on all this stuff or you paid attention to the previous...
Yeah, some of it, because, I am familiar a little bit with the... I didn't join the French Foreign Legion. I considered it.
So did I, actually, at one point.
Yeah, so I do know, so one of our trainers from the 300F1 course was Master Chief Jones, and he is actually one of the people mentioned in the book, what is it, Mouthful of Rocks? It's a legendary book about French Foreign Legion. And that guy had an incredible story. He really... crazy, and he would tell us about it. I know a little bit about it. I think I really don't have a whole lot of opinions about a lot of stuff. I know possibilities. I think all possibilities should be considered, until...
I 100% agree with you, and that's I'm 100% in agreement with you. My concern is that Candace has been exploited by political and or foreign adversaries. Is one of the things that it's hard to get away from, regardless of what you feel about the Trump administration or whatever else. Is that
big supporter of them, by the way. I'm one of the first supporters.
Awesome.
I've supported. As a matter of fact, I went to war with most of the guys in the SF Brotherhood on Facebook page there. I'm the reason that they said you can't talk politics in there anymore, because they got their asses handed to them. Me and Landon Valentine, the guy I mentioned before, were the first to speak up in that room and to be Trump supporters, and that was back in 2012, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, way back when.
So my point is I feel like Candace is being exploited, and I feel like part of this is a personal vendetta for Candace. And by the way, I loved Candace. And then the other problem that I have with what she has done is she has accused a lot of people without evidence. And I also feel like what it's doing is that it's distracting us away from what's really taking place. And I think there's something larger at play here. And I think to me it's pretty obvious. Between the bot attacks, things that are being promoted within the internet.
Sorry.
And
I'm actually clicking on your video in the background.
Nice.
Go ahead.
And I've also, Candace has definitely omitted a lot of information. Like, for instance, if you're watching my video where I said Candace is lying, she intentionally says that, you have to scale the roof like Spider-Man. That's not true. She's never shown how to get up onto that roof. And I think if you saw, I don't know, again, if you see how this whole thing with Tyler Robinson is plausible because it was fairly simple. With that being said, when you're saying that the French Foreign Legion, Israel, and the United States are all getting together to kill Charlie Kirk, it starts becoming a lot less plausible.
Right.
And maybe, and I'm open to it. Look, I think our government is corrupt. I think, but at the end of the day, what I want is the truth. And, you know, I went to UDU to see what was going on there. I did a 3D model. I had actually paid for a surveying drone to actually model the place, and then I paid for the model itself so that people can, and I gave that away for free, so that people can go on there, take a look at this, and they can place shooters in different spots and figure out what's possible, what's true, what's not.
Oh, you were going to set up a 3D model to try to reenact the scene and CSI it from, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I did.
Oh, okay.
And I gave that, so here's what happened. I spent thousands of bucks traveling there. I spent thousands of dollars, my own money, with a 3D model surveyor with a drone to map that place. And then when I got back, I spent a bunch of money in addition to another guy named CJ Correnti. He had a model. What we didn't have was where the Charlie setup, right? So we didn't have the tent, we didn't have Charlie, we didn't have everything from that day from the scan. And he spent tens of thousands of dollars modeling the tent accurately, putting Charlie in the right spot. And that model is plus or minus like 1 inch. That's how to scale and accurate it is. So what that allowed, and then I gave that away. I just made it public. People can download it. There's 2 different versions of it. There's a Blender version, which is 3D modeling software. And what that allowed us to do was, just like you said, you can, like, okay, there was a guy saying, oh, there was a shooter over in this position. Well, just looking at it from Google Earth and imagery, I'm like, man, there's not a line of sight from that position. I just know it, but I can't prove it. So what we did was we got the model, and then people can put shooters in that position. You can see from that position whether or not what is real and what is not. At the end of the day, like, I want the truth. That's what I want. And I think that's really important. And I do think there's some things that are happening that I think there's a lot of psychological operations taking place right now. I think some of those are political. Some of those are possibly being perpetrated by foreign adversaries because they don't want the Trump administration. And what this has done is it's put a lot of doubt on the current Trump administration. And I do think that some of the things that are being said and being done are going to greatly affect the midterms, going to greatly affect 2028. And I think you and I can agree the last thing that we want is, I'm okay holding the government accountable. I want to hold the government accountable no matter what. I get where you're coming from, and if they were involved in this, I'll be the first one to say, let's fry these guys. Mm-hmm. I also don't want to be tricked by social media personalities because they're pushing something because of a vendetta, and I don't want to be tricked by political forces, and I don't want to be tricked by foreign adversaries that are trying to make it to where we have a weaker United States. That is 100% where my that's my motivation, man. I love this country. I love what it's about, and the American people deserve to know the truth.
I hear you. You sound like, I mean, you're calling me up and sort of vetting me out to maybe come on your show or something, and I get that. And you've already had questions. Anytime somebody says SF on the air, every one of us gets in our gruff and starts hunting down every single teammate he's ever had. I get it.
Yeah.
When it comes to these politics, just like you said, on one hand, I hear what you're saying. There's Candace Owens, and she's got her angle with things. She's got her stuff. And she's claiming, conspiracies and foreign involvement and stuff like that. And then on the same hand, you're over here and you're claiming, that she's probably under influence of foreign governments and conspiracies and everything else. And I see you both here. I hope you understand. It's not a...
Yeah. And that's what I want you to understand.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like the truth is what's important. And
You know what I
You
say?
know,
I got no fucks to give. I am I have really I have been a Trump supporter like crazy, and the main reason is because the guy couldn't be a sellout. He couldn't be bought. And the only time that ever fractured for me had nothing to do with any of this stuff. None of this stuff is actually even fractured that for me. I know how government is and its layers and how many times a boss is not responsible for their stupid private stuff. The only time that's fractured for me was when after 8-10 years of him saying bring on the Epstein list, and he just comes out of the blue and says, are you still talking about Epstein? It was a hoax.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Okay, when somebody takes a 180-degree turn like that from the top down, and then they dish out, what did they dish out yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? They finally gave out the Epstein list? Yeah. Yeah, what was on that list? 88 pages of black markers. So you're telling me that Dan Bongino at the FBI was sitting there for the last 6 months with a black marker going over 88 pages to make sure he got every little piece of whiteout on there? Is that what's been happening? Something tells me there's a list. I think somebody's lying to us there.
But there's no doubt. And the other thing too is, look, we had that whole narrative is complicated to say the least. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, we got to get to the bottom of that. We got to get to the bottom of it. And this is, so I started out this channel as like just a gun channel, right? All we did, I own a company. We teach firearms. We teach, we train people in basic through advanced, pistol, rifle, long range. We kind of specialize in long range. That's kind of what we're known for.
10 years ago, I probably could have taught your class. And yeah, I'm down with you. I know exactly what you probably do. And I think you probably do it better than anybody else in the world too. You and
well, and I got a great cadre of instructors. It's not just me.
Yeah, we both do that.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I started this YouTube channel during COVID, and then of course I covered firearms and stuff like that. But I'm also into politics, and what I mean by that is, like, I think it's important to preserve and protect the Constitution, to push the things that I believe, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That's what you and I fought for this country for. That's what we signed up for. We swore an oath. That oath didn't go away, and I still feel that way. And I see that this country is being torn away and being eroded by what I see is a real problem with leftist politics, whether we're talking about trans ideology, whether we're talking about the attack on the Second Amendment, the attack on the First Amendment, and then we have a media that lies and pushes things.
You're gonna have to forgive me if you hear a scream in the background. It's not some little kid. Don't call the police. That's my blue and gold macaw, and he's quite the character too. He saved my life. So go ahead.
That's, long story short, that's where I'm coming from, man. And what I am is 100%. I believe in integrity. I believe in telling the truth. I believe in making sure that the truth is known, and that's what I want to get down to.
So let me ask you this then. I mean, since you're doing this, you're into it probably way more than I am. I know everybody is sitting on the sidelines here. Any SF guy who shot a gun, and God knows, we had to do calls on that, all of it, right? Mm-hmm. Every single year. Yeah, we go out to the range and we have to burn down the ranges with phosphorus rounds damn near every year. Look, we all know something seems wrong with the 30-06 thing. What do you think?
What I think is kind of what I've said from the beginning is that the problem is we don't know. The problem is everything that we would need to know about the ammunition and about the rifle that would help us to determine a terminal ballistic outcome. We don't know. We don't know the grain of that bullet. We don't know the type of ammunition. We don't know whether it was hand loads or factory. We don't know if the type of the projectile, was it full metal jacket? Was it soft point? Was it a ballistic tip? Was it frangible? We don't know any of those things.
Yeah, it could have been a blank round at close range. We don't know. I get it.
100%. So, like, I'm a little, what I do know, and even going into this, like, obviously, I've shot a 30-06 like 5 or 6 times. You know, like, it's not, like, it's a fairly antiquated round. It's nothing that we use.
I grew up with them. Sorry, I grew up. My dad used to take us deer hunting all the time in Elk County. Yeah, so I grew up with them. They're a cannon. Yeah.
But the reality is, like, with the 30-06, there's everything from like 55 grain old accelerator rounds all the way up to 220 grain, and with a lot of different other options in between. And originally going into this, I had the same opinion there. Like, there's no fucking way that this guy was hitting the neck with a 30-06. Now, with that being said, I teach long range for a living, and I also know that weird shit happens with ammo. Like, we just had some 6mm Creedmoor ammo that we were out shooting on the range just a few months ago, and about every 5th round would exit the barrel, and the round would disintegrate mid-air.
That's interesting.
You know, we don't know that, and that's another thing too. Is like, we don't know how old that ammo was. We don't know if there was something.
The round. Are you telling me that a round from a 30-06 disintegrated leaving the barrel?
This wasn't a 30-06 round. No, this wasn't a 30-06 round. This was a like long range precision rifle and 6mm Creedmoor is what the round was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I've seen the same thing happen with 6.5 Creedmoor. And it's Hornady ELDM. So my point is when it comes to the variables that we're dealing with ballistics, there is typical and there's atypical results. And without a doubt, what we see with Charlie Kirk is an atypical result. Now, there's a 1,000 explanations that I can come up with off the top of my head that would explain that. You know, it could be a round that wasn't stabilized, so it started to yaw and even started to tumble when it hit it, which that makes a little bit of sense to me because we have an atypical entrance wound. That entrance wound was larger than normal. And what I can say with certainty is if we
I agree. That looks, everybody thinks that looks more like an exit wound. Yeah.
An exit wound. And what I can say with certainty is that if that round, even if it was 30-06, even if it was 220 grain, and even if it was going at 2,800 feet per second, if that round, that projectile was in an extreme yaw, so it didn't hit the skin tip first, and it was already, 3/4 of the way sideways or even sideways when it hit.
Yeah.
The chances of it, and especially once it hit,
you know the problem with that, right?
Go ahead, tell me.
Well, 30-06, so our military rounds, they're made to tumble. 30-06s aren't.
You're right, but they're not made to tumble in the air. And that's what I'm saying. If we had a round that wasn't stabilized, there could be something wrong with that. The barrel, the round, something was off.
There's
a thousand
things.
Plausible explanations as to why. And here's the other thing too. One thing that I was not aware of before this incident, and I've studied in depth on this, was Martin Luther King. What happened with Martin Luther King is extremely similar, unbelievably similar to what happened to Charlie Kirk. Martin Luther King was shot from 65 yards away with a 30-06 round. It hit him in his face. It glanced off his jaw and then went into his neck and then hit his spine and then went downward. Now, there's a lot of controversy around Martin Luther King, right? Whether or not it was James Earl Ray that shot him, whether or not the CIA was involved, all of those things. But one thing that was never really contested during that time was whether or not it was a 30-06. So we have Martin Luther King shot from half the distance that Charlie Kirk was. It hit his spine, and this is important. This is one of the things that is interesting to me.
Right.
Hit his spine and didn't exit, just like with Charlie Kirk. And so much so that Martin Luther King ended up having a open casket funeral. Then on top of that, then we have another case study, which Nate just had on his show, a guy named Chuck Ritter. Chuck Ritter, Green Beret. This is a crazy story. Chuck Ritter was shot 4 times with 7.62 by 54. And 7.62 by 54 is literally always kind of been known as the Russian version of 30-06.
Okay,
Ballistically, they are identical. Now, what's interesting about this is that Chuck was actually hit in the back through the rib cage, almost from the side, kind of, let's say, off to his 4 o'clock. It entered his back, hit his spine, went downward, and not only did he live, he had no exit wound, but he lived. He was shot 2 more times in that incident. So he was shot 3 times with 7.62 by 54, and the tough son of a bitch kept fighting, and it ended up killing the guy that shot him.
I think both of you have to admit that there's a long list of Green Beret Medal of Honor winners that you take a look at Benavides. I don't know if you ever got to meet him. I did. No, I know his daughter, a wonderful lady. It's really sad what they did to Benavides' wife. Holy damn. But I'll tell you, yeah, the guy was riddled like Swiss cheese. How does he live through that? What is it? You talk about, is there evidence of magic bullets? Yeah, at times. I think maybe. I think you're right.
And when it comes to that, like, here's the thing, is if the point is that people are trying to fill an unknown. Number one, we have a lot of people that don't, like, when I hear somebody kind of speak from authority and say, oh, well, I've been hunting my whole life, and 30-06, I'll blow a tree in half. Okay.
Yeah, it could. Depending.
You're absolutely right.
Could. Yeah, I get it. It also could just stop inside of within 1 inch of a tree too. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
It depends on the tree. It depends on
I have all kinds of hunters.
Weather, rain. All sorts of stuff. Yep.
The point here is that people that really know ballistics understand that there's 1,000 variables that can determine an outcome, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have hundreds of hunters that have sent me pictures of. I just got one the other day. The guy shot a deer in the shoulder with 30-06. He says 35 yards away, and it lodged into the outer shoulder bone. Didn't penetrate, and then he ended up having to put another round on the deer with 30-06.
Yeah, it finished off. Yeah.
So the point here is that well, here's the real issue. We have Tyler Robinson, who we have his DNA on the firearm. We have DNA on the trigger. We have DNA on the spent cartridge. We have his DNA on the towel that he used. We have surveillance footage of him getting up to that position. We have surveillance footage of him moving out to the position as described by the charging documents. Then we have text messages, which are definitely weird. We also have him admitting to his parents that he was the shooter, and then his parents turned him in. To me, that's probably one of the biggest.
Well, I think that last part there. I mean, that last part actually, if I've been paying attention right, good, and trust me, I'm trying not to. I have one of these things called a life. All of this is quite a big distraction because I was trying to get attention for something completely different to save the lives of guys like you and our other brothers and stuff, and to maybe get them their children back if possible. This is a big inconvenience to me, to be honest with you.
Oh,
so, this is taking all the air out of the room. That being said, the last part there, having been familiar with, unfortunately, police work, unfortunately, federal agents lately, and I can tell you, I have been heartbrokenly disappointed in the diligence of agents from city police, county sheriffs, FBI. We have gone from here to Washington, D.C., to Florida, and then down to Huachuca and back. Wow. The ability for them to sit at a computer and want to just narrate stuff is incredible, and not get up off of their ass and go do stuff and, I don't know, maybe investigate facts. If you're, like, I don't want to convince you one way or another. I've witnessed this with my own eyes just this last year.
I 100% agree with you, like, on that. Like, they can create any narrative they want. We agree on that.
A lot of times they create narratives so that they don't have to get up out of their damn chair.
100% agreed. That's why, to me, the most compelling portion of this that makes it more likely that Tyler Robinson is indeed guilty is that his parents turned him in.
That's actually been debated. They don't have that evidence. I don't know if you've caught that or not.
I know it's been debated.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's because here's the thing. Let's say that your son was being put up on death penalty charges, right? And then they release a document saying that you turned them in, and basically part of your testimony as a father is the reason that they're charging him.
Yeah.
Would there be anything that would stop you from getting in front of a camera and saying, these people are trying to railroad my son to a death penalty case?
And I'm here to tell you, you are barking up the wrong tree. I actually have a real case example of that. And it concerns one of our brothers from way back when. As a matter of fact, it was while I was at Fort Bragg. And yes, I watched him get accused of... So we're going to divert so that you understand where I'm coming from on this for a little bit here.
No, send it.
He had picked up a girlfriend in Texas when we were there at 300 F1. I got recycled into the... they didn't want to lose me. The cadre actually stuck up for me. It was really sort of sweet what they did, I guess. So when I broke my back and stuff, they gave me time off. They couldn't get me back in the medic. They recycled me into the Charlie. I go to Charlie, my buddy. He goes, he continues on. I think he was the class valedictorian at that point, going to GOAT Lab. So he's going through, you know how stressful that is, right? That's like the most stressful part of the medics program there, that they're losing their minds. But he got this girlfriend, brought her along. They're in Fayetteville. She ends up bringing her 3 daughters from her previous marriage. These 2 weren't married yet either. Just all of a sudden, they're in a 1-bedroom apartment. Now they've got 3 girls with them. And one of them comes back while I'm over there visiting with my buddy Joe Ross or something. He was going through the course with us too. The 3 of us knew each other. Went over to Doug's place, and the little girls, they come in after school. Terry brings them in, and I happen to notice, being that, I've been through the medic course, I'm EMT qualified, all that kind of stuff. Me and Doug were in the course together. And I see this little girl, and she's got one pupil blown out bigger than the other. Now, you've done your cross training, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what does one pupil bigger than the other indicate to you?
Brain damage.
Yeah, there's something going on, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at that too, and I was like, whoa. Plus, I also happened to go out at night. Back then, there was what was that stuff that they were using? Some people going out to clubs and whatnot, they were doing those drugs that would make your pupils get all big and stuff. They were a little bit crazy.
Ecstasy or...
Yeah, something like that, where it's something you notice back in that time. And this little girl, she's got one pupil bigger than the other. I bring it up to Doug, and of course, they don't have the money to run off to the hospital with her, and I think he made a big mistake. And he tried to play it off that, no, it's common in 7% of the population, he says. I'm like, Doug, I don't know. I don't ever remember seeing that with her. I probably would have noticed something like that. We leave, and a couple days later, Doug and Terry and the girls are gone. Me and Joe, we can't get a hold of him. And finally, we get contacted by police and whatnot. And we have to find out this backstory from him. But apparently in the middle of the night, she ends up on the floor, sweating. He tries to do... So what does an SF medic try to do when he sees something, girl sweating, she's got a fever, it's called the ambulance, I'm going to go try to manage, right? And he puts her into the tub, I think, to try and cool her down. Instantly, she goes into, you might know this term, the flying fag position, is what I remember they used to dub it. I can't remember. It's when there's brain damage and all the extensors seize up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently she goes into that, and he immediately knows, oh, this is bigger than that, and they have to get in the car, take her to the hospital. Now he ends up having more knowledge than what the doctors think he should have as an enlisted person. Like, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know mechanism of injury, anything like that? If you're not a doctor, are you a doctor? Are you an officer? No, I'm an SF medic. Oh, Special Forces Green Beret? Oh. Immediately they went ahead, they got offended. And of course, they didn't immediately take any of his advice. They delayed treatment. As they did, she passed away. What they found out later, years later, is that she had returned home from daycare that day that we had seen her. She had been hit in the forehead by the daycare owner's son, a 5-year-old. This little girl was like 2, with a swing, had knocked her flat out. They didn't report it. They put a Band-Aid on her, sent her home. Why didn't they report it? Because the daycare owner, she was the daughter of the elected sheriff, who called Dad when she had a knocked out 2-year-old at her place. Dad said, put a Band-Aid on it, don't say a word, send her home. So that's when me and Joe saw her. Doug didn't take her to the emergency room. 2 days later, they finally go, she's dead. Now,
Jesus.
What do they do to get out of all of this? That sheriff ends up putting investigators on it to go ahead and turn Doug into a child abuser. Doug had never abused anybody in his life.
Sure.
And now, was he gregarious? Was he... did him and Terry maybe get into some yelling matches? Absolutely. They were those types that, what do you call it? They yell at each other and then they turn very passionate. And the next thing you know, you have to leave because they're making noise in the bedroom. And it's like, oh, geez, So, but yeah, no, I sat there and had to be a witness to the sheriff putting out in the paper that both him and Terry had admitted to harming this little girl. And they did that, and they held him on house arrest for years as they basically isolated him. They put out, I can't tell you how many times in the newspaper, they put out false things. They would say that those people said something that they didn't.
Sure.
That just to poison the jury pool, just to poison the public, and they did, and they got away with railroading him. He got convicted. He was in jail for 13 years until they finally, the daycare owner had a crisis of conscience, and she came forward. And even then, they couldn't get him out of jail, but eventually some deal got worked out. He's now moved on with his life. It's caused him tremendous amount of pain. We lost a valedictorian SF medic. So now you're telling me, would they come up with something? Would they come up with a lie? Would they say? Would a prosecutorial team lie to the public?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Oh yeah,
No,
they would. I've had it happen to me here.
I 100% believe that they would. What I'm saying is the parents. If they're putting things in those charging documents that they're basically using the parents' testimony, which they do, as evidence against Tyler Robinson. What I'm saying is that the parents, the fact that
what would stop them from going out? I'll tell you exactly what it is. The attorneys. The attorneys would tell the parents to shut up. Don't fight it. We'll fight it in court. We promise. Guarantee it.
All of that's possible. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to the court case, if that is true, then we get the parents up on, because it's going to happen. If the parents get up on the stand and confirm or deny that, the case is going to fall apart. If this was all a lie.
Yeah, based on your opinion right there, just that alone, that would make a case fall. I get you. And I think that, you know what, if that holds up and all of that's true and these texts and everything else, hey, wow, okay. If that's what really proves it, fantastic. Okay, we got the guy that did solve it.
And by the way, that doesn't prove that this isn't a larger conspiracy. And this is one of the things that I've said from the beginning, and me and Nate
still don't explain what I saw down in. It doesn't explain what I saw the day before.
That's what we need to figure out. And that is exactly why I contacted you, because this is a critical piece. It's not about debunking you. It's about, hey, is this indeed true?
Am I accurate? Do I have good eyesight? Can I remember stuff? Do I have a pretty good memory? Am I vetted as an SF guy? All the credibility in the world. I get it. Yep.
Yep. All of that's true.
You know what I say to it?
Here's the thing. There's nobody that's going to be harder on the U.S. government than me and Nate if this is true. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't give a shit if it comes to find out that I want to know who the fuck killed Charlie Kirk. That's what I want to know. And if the U.S. government was involved in one way or another, here's the other thing. Even if Tyler Robinson is indeed the shooter, that doesn't exclude the U.S. government from involvement, because I think, just like Thomas Crooks, and this is where I was going with earlier, I think that somebody recruited, radicalized, and weaponized this guy, even if that's the case. So that still puts, and that's something that needs to be discussed and make people understand that is something absolutely possible.
You're a gun guy, right? Let's see. Let's do something. Listen now. You mind if we take a little minute to analogize?
Sure. Okay. Sure. I have an appointment at 5:30, but I just want to let you know that. But I do want to hear this.
All right, so you got a car shop and you got cars that don't run. Okay, so people bring them in, they don't run. And every time you go into that car shop, and that car shop says, it's a broken cylinder head, you got to replace the whole engine. Okay, so the next guy comes in, he can't start the car. All right, different car, whatever. And he says, broken cylinder head, you got to replace the engine. Okay, fine. You do that a third, fourth time, fifth time, every single problem that goes into that shop, supposed complicated issues, and it's always the same thing. Broken cylinder head. Got to replace the engine. Now, call me stupid, but I don't think every car that don't start has a broken cylinder head and needs an engine replaced, right? You with me on that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So when I take a look at any of these things, if I do have an opinion, and maybe this gives you an up when I look at some of this stuff, and I don't want to necessarily be a conspiracy theorist. You and I both want to shoot things down the middle. The only thing I find weird about every single incident since JFK, to include the one that you brought up there with Martin Luther King. So JFK, Martin Luther King, Ronald Reagan, President Trump, and now Charlie Kirk, and there's probably a few more in there. Every single time, it's a lone shooter and magic bullets. Every time the FBI gets involved, whatever section that is, there's some old guy sitting up there, and it seems like he is that mechanic in the thing who says it's a broken cylinder head and you got to replace the engine every time. Well, somebody at the FBI, they've got this narrative where it's lone shooter, magic bullets. lone shooter magic bullets, and you would have a fantastic point, and maybe I can give you advice for your show if I could be so bold.
Be bold, do it.
Go repeat the findings. Go repeat the magic bullet. Go get a 30-06, get on a roof, shoot it from that angle, and have it lodge in the neck. You repeat that, then you got something.
Well, we're going to. We're absolutely going to. And here's the problem with that, or the challenge with that, is right now what I need to know what the ammo is. When we get, and it's probably going to be, we're going to have to wait till the trial, because there's literally over 1,000 variations. I have like 20 different types of 30-06 ammo down in my basement right now that I've ordered.
Yeah, you stock up on. Yeah. Go. I mean, when if I see somebody, because I've seen Valhalla get out there, I've seen some of these other guys do their stuff, and I was really proud that somebody actually did some ballistics. We get to see it, right? And a 30-06 completely just, it does exactly what I've seen it do in the past, and what every hunter has seen do in the past. Yeah, every once in a while there's a one-off.
Yep.
But why is it every time there's an assassination, why is it that is the time that we got this lone shooter magic bullet stuff, one-off things going on? That, to me, it doesn't instill confidence in me.
No, look, there's nothing, just like I talked about, there's nothing. What we're talking about is atypical results.
Atypical, yeah. It's weird.
Without a doubt. And I'm completely open to the idea that the government...
Gary, I'm just a regular old guy just sitting here. I try to live my life. And again, none of this is convenient for me and what I've been trying to do to get my son back. So, when I look at this stuff, I just... Oh, Lord. Hey, somebody go repeat this stuff.
Fortunately or unfortunate for you, I think you potentially have the information and the key, because if we can verify your story, I think it changes everything, and that's why that you have become such an important piece of this.
I will tell you, there's a lot of information I gave about where I was, what I was doing, the devices I had on me. No, I'm not a spy. I did not mean to walk into stuff, but I did give it up to, everything I gave it over to Miss Owens, and I gave it to Joe Kent. And that's, again, I offer my witness statement. I think that they will there's going to be more corroborating things coming. And I'll just give that to you. But I do believe that the truth, what I saw, it doesn't change anything Eve talked about with magic bullets one bit. I have no opinion, no connection. I'm not with, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I watched him, absolutely support him. I thought what he did was courageous. Thought it was also dangerous. Because I've seen some of those literals. If you ever go to Portland, holy cow. Don't ever have a Trump sticker on your car. I don't know. Where I was, what I was doing, it had nothing to do with any of that stuff. I just have the worst luck in the world. I really do.
You do.
I agree
that you do. And like I said, that's why it's so important to corroborate your story. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the truth. I mean, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. No narrative matters. What matters is the truth. And if we can corroborate your story, and again, just like I told you before, I'm going to be your biggest advocate without a doubt. And we need to get you on the show, and we need to get more information on that, and see where this leads. That's what we need to do.
Well, we'll I'm all for it. I can tell you, me personally, Yeah, ever since any of this is aired, the internet trolls are out there. They're digging up superficial stuff left and right, and they're trashing the hell out of my name. And of course, yeah, look, Native Valhalla, I hope you spoke to him. I
did. I talked to him.
I got no hard feelings. I'm going to razz him a bit. No offense. He can be a big guy all at once. I made a whole living of big guys underestimate me. I'll chop down a redwood and break its branches off. But I like him. I think you guys are on.
And look, I said the same thing. I said the same things as Nate did. Like, hey, I don't think this guy was an SF guy. And I'll be the first one to go on the record and be like, hey, you know what? I checked out his story, and Nate has said the same thing. I just talked to him. I was like, he looks, he sent me some documents already.
I'm an SF guy, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of SF guys that hate me for being an SF guy. I've been 8-balled like crazy.
Yeah, no, there's personalities in us, just like
yeah, there's a few. The whole Teddy thing, you should have seen that thing go on. I remember that went on. That was nuts. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Remember what? Say that again.
Oh, Teddy, he was one of the first guys, like the Survivor. No, it wasn't Survivor show. Dual Survivor on the History Channel. He made all sorts of claims, and then him and George Davenport from the Green Beret. What was it? Protectors of the Green Beret. I forget what they called it back then.
Guardians of the Green Beret.
Yeah, Guardians of the Green Beret. George Davenport started slamming him. They went back and forth. Those guys were going to kill each other. They were stalking each other, going to kill each other. Eventually, it came out that there was a big court case. That's what actually locked down. SF Brothers ended up losing like 4 years of data because Facebook had to lock it all up because the History Channel locked down there with legal stuff. Yeah, SF guys, when things go, it tends to be, sit back, grab your popcorn. It's going to be a freaking fireworks show. Anyway, we get ourselves involved.
I got a appointment I got to get to, but like I said, whether, unfortunately for you, I think you are the key to this entire thing. And I think if we can get everything you said corroborated, I think it's, I think it opens this thing up to something much, much bigger. And
we'll see where this goes. Far, I'm open to it. I think Miss Owens' camp, she's weary about you guys. And I think she's weary about everybody. To be totally honest, after talking with her, she's scared too, but she's also brave, from what I can tell. She's a fighter, and she's following her stuff. Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like we've got all the answers. Nobody's paid attention.
Well, that's a fact. Without a doubt. No matter where all this lands, we don't have the answers.
We don't. And, federal government, I understand they have there's a prosecution. At some point, the federal government forgot that they're supposed to be prosecuting in order to be, how do you say, they're supposed to be reporting to the public. It's not supposed to be a prosecution for somebody's career, okay, just to win. We prosecute to assure the public we've done the right thing. We're their boss. They should be reporting this stuff. If we don't know, there's something wrong. And I understand they've got a case to prosecute.
Yeah, there is especially as a high-profile case, look, I see it from all angles. I see that they can't contaminate the jury pool. At the same time, they are trying to prosecute this case. At the same time, we expect transparency. And there's a fine line there. And I'm sure on both, I think there's some expectations from the public that are a little unrealistic, but I also think that the U.S. government isn't, or at least at this point, really it's Utah. I think Utah it could be one of two things. Either they're being extremely careful because of the profile of this case, or they're covering things up. I'm open to it all. And I think all of those things are possible. We just got to collect as much information as we can to figure out what the truth actually is. And that's what I want to do. I want the government held accountable. I don't trust the government. We saw that the FBI lied about, or the government lied about COVID. We know that the FBI lied about January 6th. We know that the COVID vaccines. We know that there has been conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy. There's no doubt about it. But then you also have other things like QAnon. So it's like, all you can do is judge each one of these individually, figure out the facts, and then we can figure out who's
what was
telling the truth.
I keep hearing about this QAnon. I never really got it.
So QAnon was this big conspiracy thing online right around the time right before the first Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another, ultimately what I can tell you for sure, I don't know where it originated, but what it was this disinformation operation. For sure, it was a huge psyop. And all these people on the right were buying into this thing that it was a bunch of different things. There was these Q drops, and, Q is a reference to the highest level of classification. So
right. Clearance.
The idea was that there was somebody with a Q clearance that was sharing information to the public. And this person was known as Q. And Anon obviously would be an anonymous.
That makes more sense. I get it now. Okay.
So, but one of the things that they said was that the moment that Trump wins the election, JFK Jr. was going to appear, and he's not been dead. And it was a whole bunch of other things that ended up being not true. And what I think it was a product of the left that was trying to discredit and make the right look stupid, and they did a really good job of it. So that's the context of this. So I do think that there are people that take advantage of the fact that we know that there are conspiracies and the fact that we are distrustful of the government. And again, these could be political actors. They could be, the George Soros types, or they could be. Yeah,
like I said, I mean, you're okay. Let's say Candace Owens is alleging there's a conspiracy of the government, or TPUSA, or whatever, and then you've got you're saying, wait a minute, there's other governments that are conspiring against us, and they're conspiring with Candace Owens. Okay, so we got all of these allegations going on. Nobody really knows the truth unless you're there. I agree, and I'll tell you, all I know, all I know is I have a real bad habit of showing up in the craziest of times, and happen to be this is the last thing I want to be in the middle of. This whole thing was the last thing. At the same time, I can't. I'm not gonna lie for nobody. No offense, I've lost too much in my life. There ain't nothing you can pay me. And as far as like what I'm gonna put this, so in case you're taking notes, I ain't taking a damn cent from Candace Owens. My heart goes up. Like, I am so humbled by the support she put out there, that she's intending to do a fundraiser for me. And from what I hear, that there's an account building, and until you guys vet go ahead and air my dirty laundry, and let me defend it, whatever. I don't plan to take a cent from this. All I want justice for me and my son. I've told Candace Owens this. That's what I was seeking when I went down there. This is all a distraction. It is it has sucked all the air out of the room. And I hope we get past it. I hope you guys do find all the answers. What I can say is, there ain't you can't pay me $1 to lie. I know what I saw. I think I do. And I'm typically pretty damn good at that stuff, and it's unfortunately not a gift. It's a curse as well, as you're starting to see. So,
well, I think Mitch, you and I are on the same page. And like I said, no matter what, I'm not going to do you dirty. Definitely not going to dox you or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, you came at me a little bit hard on there. I saw a little bit of it, but again.
Oh yeah. No, I did. I'm
an SF guy that's sort of disconnected from SF, and you're like, the hell, I ain't heard of this guy before. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
No.
And that's why I wanted to reach out to you personally.
I'm glad you did.
And I think that's the right thing to do. And so, like I said, man, You know, everything checks out. You're not going to have a bigger advocate than me and Nate for sure. Promise you.
I appreciate that. And if I don't know what else you guys need to check out, but yeah, I'll give it to you. And you guys go ahead and do your thing. Let me know that you guys are gonna.
Do you mind if I give Nate your phone number as well?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I've reached out to him. I've paid, he owes me a little bit of money now, because I paid like $45 trying to do a super chat, trying to get a hold of him and give him my give him my contact. Dumbass.
Well, I'll give him your phone number, and you can get your money's worth out of him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know how I get paid for all this stuff, but anyway, you guys have all that figured out. One of these days, show up to court for me. That would be great.
Well, we'll do what we can. Well, listen, I got to get to another appointment, but like I said, I just want to give you a call. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being honest with me. And
yeah, you bet,
like
Gary.
said,
it's been good talking
I'll
to
get
you.
Nate. You too, buddy. Thanks.
All right, Gary. Have a good one.
Bye.